About 18 months ago, I posted this video where I broke down how I scaled my agency from zero to $1 million a year. At that point, I thought I had it all worked out. Boy, was I wrong. Somewhere between that $1 and $2 million run rate, things start breaking. Quality starts dropping. I had effectively created for myself a glorified job which was more demanding than the previous 9 to 5 job I was at. I built a business that couldn't run without me. Since that video, it's been 18 months, and this year we are on track to do $3 million for the entire year. And the way we got here is completely opposite to everything I was doing when scaling up to $1 million. In year one, we did around $500,000. Year two, about 1.2 million. Good, but we could do better. Year three, you can see from year one to year three, we have done 6x. It's great. So here's what I'm going to do in this video. If you are running an agency and doing around $1 million a year, I'm going to show you what we did wrong, what we did right, why most agencies get stuck at this point, and what you should be doing. My name is Ali. I run a performance ad creative agency called AdCreate. We work with brands like Tushy, Huel, 1440, Laura Geller, DTC brands, digital app brands, and we build their performance ad creative for them. So the ads that you would see on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We make around 500 ads every week. We have a team of nearly 40 people. 3 things I want to be going over in this video. The first one is your offer and how specifically you are going to be restructuring your offer to make it more effective and work for you. The next one is sales process, how we're actually getting our clients currently and what we're doing to date effectively without having to do too many sales calls or without having to do too much outbound. And building systems and a leadership layer within the business, which enables you to take a step out from the day-to-day execution. Okay, so let's cover the first thing, which is the offer restructure. The offer wasn't necessarily AdCreate, it was me plus a couple of extra people. So there's 2 fundamental shifts that we had to make within the business. Now, the first one was pricing. We raised the minimums. In order to be able to afford a stronger team, get a leadership layer, you need cash flow. So in order to do that, we increased our overall pricing. Some of our clients were taking up all our capacity, paying us half of what some of our best clients were paying us. So we raised the floor, and within the first couple of months, a few clients did drop, but at the same time, the quality of the brands that we were getting improved significantly. We saw less churn from them. We were able to make better, higher quality hires, and overall quality from that increased. And then we introduced the pod model at the beginning of this year. We did it quite late, but it works well. This is the pod model. What we have running right now is in every single pod, we have a creative strategist and we also have an account manager. Now, the strategist and the account manager, they are working collaboratively together. The account manager isn't reporting to the strategist. They are from separate teams. The strategist focuses on client delivery, servicing, all of that fun stuff. The account manager is the one focused on nurturing the account. So they are on the day-to-day comms. They are focused on the politics of the account. So the strategist focuses on the output we are providing, and the account manager is on the service because, of course, it's an agency, it is a service-based business, so they are the ones providing all of the delivery. Okay, now beyond that, every pod focuses on multiple different clients. I know agencies who have 15 clients, yes, 15 in a pod. It is insane. We previously started on around 10, we then dropped down to 8. Now we are around 5 to 6, depending on the pod. What that means is you get higher quality input, your team is more focused and able to spread time to the correct brands, and you overall get a better job done. These 2 individuals work directly in tandem together. They own a set of clients together end to end. To scale the business, it's actually pretty simple. All I need to do is add a new pod into the business, and now I can scale. I actually work through the agency founders on this when I'm doing consulting calls. A lot of younger agencies don't have pods immediately introduced, and I get it because I made the same mistake. What you end up doing is it's a free-for-all. Everyone is working on different brands, different accounts, and you don't have any structure. When it comes to wanting to scale, you can't do it with a predictable system. That's what a pod system lets you do. Now let's talk about a fun one. This is number 2, and this is around sales and client acquisition. What I was doing at the $1 million run rate, the main source of business was social media. Are you okay? Yeah, he's fine. We were posting case studies, creating videos on YouTube, leveraging our professional network and relationships. When you're focused on this model, your problem is you are the blocker. If I'm spending an hour on a sales call, I'm not spending time on the business. And there's only so many sales calls I can take until I reach a plateau. You need someone dedicated on sales. Okay. So here's what changed when we wanted to scale down and we wanted to go to the $3 million run rate. What I effectively had to do was we built a referral program. So referrals, that became huge. So we do in perpetuity, and that's giving a percentage of sales that any referral partner is bringing in. And this drives a lot of inbound into the business because effectively it's through partners we already have. It sounds obvious when you think about it, but initially there's traction in wanting to introduce it. Again, same thing in consulting calls. I mentioned referrals. People are a little bit like, I don't want to give the percentage. But here's my argument. That business wouldn't be coming in. You're spending as much time, whether it is a human cost or is your time cost on trying to acquire these people. So if someone is already warm with you, understands you, they're only going to have positive things to say and bring referral business. Give them a percentage of the upside. Simple. This happens on a few conditions. You do the following. You actually do good work. Okay. You've been in the market long enough, market longevity, and clients like you. If you do this, and again, this isn't just about results. Okay. This is what is the overall experience of working with you as an agency. If they see you guys are more flexible, you guys are more accommodating, you are willing to put in the hard work, they will see that you are a great cultural fit and want to work more with you. We've had people move from business to business. They bring us along with them. We know that they have friends or partners who also are running other businesses. They will always tie us back in. So building out the referral network has been huge for us to grow. Okay. And that's why client experience is super important for us. It's how fast we are responding, working, presenting our work, how the team is presenting themselves as well, how we're taking on feedback. All of this stuff compounds and becomes referrals. We've had clients who previously were competing agencies with us in an ad account. They've left the agency, gone brand side, and all of a sudden they've hit us up. So it's all about the impression you are building within a business. The second part is your content. There is a compounding effect to content. And that is more specifically, I'll show you the effect here on a graph. If this is your table, this is time and effect. When you make content, it does this. Over time, it will start to compound like this. The more content you have available, the more credible you are going to be within the market. So within that first year, I wouldn't say it feels pointless, but it's a slow burner. By year 2, you see the effect of the content. People are interested in working with you. By year 3, it becomes its own machine. You don't have to be posting every single week. Even if you're posting every few months, it's enough for brands to go on, see you are credible, you know what you're talking about, and you've already done the hard sell for them. We've jumped on sales calls where brands say, we saw your content, we know what you're about, so we're interested to just understand more about pricing. So they're already warm. You don't get that effect if you're not building content. And to this day, I will get DMs from people who have been following for the last couple of months, for the last couple of years. Some don't even have a brand. A few months later, they've joined the right company. They've started their own thing. So that compound effect happens. Finally, in terms of offer refinement, I got better at saying no. When you're earlier in the business, revenue and cash flow is the game. So you want to accept anyone who is coming in and saying, hey, we want to work with you. You're grateful for the revenue. You think, we're going to make this work. Most problems are going to be 80% of the problems within the business are probably going to be coming from 20% of the brands you are working with. It is very important you say no to those brands and get rid of them, or qualify them at the beginning and don't bring them in. Wrong fit clients are expensive in terms of money, but your team's energy, your overall company morale, and there is an invisible cost of having to go back and forth. One bad client can drain an entire pod's capacity. Everyone loses morale, and that's one thing you absolutely want to avoid. We've gone through it ourselves. So you want to create a stricter qualification process. When you say no, have a qualification process. By doing that, you know your yeses and what are your nos. So when any brand is approaching you, you have your qualification index, and even in your team, or you have a sales team and you tell them, hey, this is how I want you to operate, they then know who should be in and who shouldn't be. This decision has sped up our overall capacity. It's enabled us to say no to a lot of brands, refer them to someone else, still make a bit of money, but it's saved us so much in team morale and headache. That has been a huge lever. Now let's talk about leadership and systems. 6x came from in growth from year 1 to year 3. And it's probably the one thing I resisted the longest because it meant I needed to let go of control. The $1 million mark, I had a team, but I was at the center of everything. If this is me, hi, I'm Ali. You've got the team here. For illustration purposes, you can see we've only got 6. This was around maybe 15 people at one point, maybe even 20. Everyone was reporting to me, which meant I was the breaking point. I was where things would go wrong. I was doing everything with the team. They're waiting on me, asking for information. I'm managing all of these different people in different departments, an editor, a strategist, someone in the creator team. This could be someone in the performance team, an account manager, someone in finance. When every person is reporting to you in a flat structure, it only works up to a certain point. I convinced myself I was maintaining quality, but effectively I was scared that I would be slipping in the business if I had to give it to someone else. This can only be sustained for a certain period of time, after which you will also burn out. So what we needed to do was we created leadership hires. Still me at the head of everything, but instead you now have a head of creative strategy lead. The team reports to them and the lead reports to me. Same for our accounts team. The team reports to them. They report to me. Same for an operations. There's an operations team. Operations lead is the person I coordinate with. Same for the editing team. This is the team, single largest team that we have. All of the people report to the lead, who then reports to me. The point is, it's not just one person going after all these different teams, it's specialists. And rather than me having to do everything, I'm able to then go back to the business and say, this is your area, this is your department of specialty. You are responsible for that team, and you're going to be debriefing me on what's happening. We will put out fires together, but you are my single point of contact. That ownership is what really changed the game. Okay. So where before everyone is reporting all over to me, now you have this structure where it's me, layer number 1, layer number 2. And that is what has worked effectively to scale from the $500,000 a year to $3 million a year over the last 18 months. How do you make those leadership hires? The one thing we did was it was all internal. Every single one of our leadership hires was made internally. They already understood the business. They know how the team worked. They know how that department worked. So we work with people already in our business and ready to move up into a senior role. That's a lot easier than bringing someone external who will shift the culture and the environment and lead up that team. So if you are able to do it, and that's something I say on all of my consulting calls as well to agency founders and owners, if you have capability of needing a leadership team, you should consider your internal people first. Build out the leadership layer. It changes from everyone reports to me to I work with leaders in the respective areas. The next part is systems. In any agency, in the early days, they're using Slack and Google Docs. What that can lead to, especially at a run rate when you're around 1.5 million, which is what we had, inconsistent quality, the team is waiting on me, and I am the bottleneck around not just hiring, but I'm just the bottleneck in general. Usually your team is very competent, your final output is really good, but you have a systems-led issue. We built an operating system, an agency OS, as we call it. It pieces together everything in the business. Current clients, concepts in production, capacity do we have? What are the deadlines and who is accountable for these deadlines? Who is owning each project? When we're getting feedback internally or we are getting it from clients, what is the feedback loop? As in, how is it being implemented? How are we actioning it? And how are our ads actually performing? All of this needs to be in one place as opposed to stitching everything together from multiple different sources. We built our own system on Notion. At this point, we are creating 500 ads every single week, which is 2K plus every single month. So what we've done is build our own system. We're not using Monday or ClickUp or any of these other project management systems. And the way that we have done that is we've built our own setup. And actually, we've turned our internal setup into something other agencies can use. We call it Ad Creative Ops. It takes our SOPs, templates, frameworks, documents, everything. It's packaged up nicely into a Notion system and template that you can execute for yourself. I will leave the link in the description and you can go learn more about it. It is called adcreativeops.com. To the final section, regrets, things that I wish we did differently. The first is raising our prices. We should have done that earlier. We doubted ourselves within the market and thought, hey, we're not going to be competitive if we change our pricing. There's people who are doing it cheaper than us. We should have raised our prices earlier and not played it so safe. It would sped things up in terms of the quality of hires we could have done, the margins as a business that we would have had. Maybe it happened at the right time, but we could have raised our prices earlier. The second one is hiring leaders. By having that org structure implemented, it's changed how the business operates. I don't need to be in the day-to-day weeds as much. I still am to a certain degree, but I don't need to be to the degree that I was this time, even 12 months ago. Saying no, and that is just standing your ground when it comes to clients and who you are bringing into the business. And also sometimes people will go into the value creation business as an agency. We're going to be the best agency. We're going to deliver everything that a client asks for. But then you realize commercially that doesn't make sense. So it's knowing the boundaries of saying you don't do everything the client wants, but you don't do nothing that the client wants at the same time. There is a balance. I see agencies going on both extremes. You need to find a good middle ground, which makes commercial sense for your margins. And then finally, letting go. And that comes back to hiring leaders. That comes back to everything else. Letting go is effectively just letting your team deal with things and, being there as kind of a parent who says like, hey, I'm there to support you if you need, but otherwise feel free to go execute and do what you need to do. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. All right. So that is the update. And that's how the business has gone from 1 million to 3 million over these last 18 months. Now, if you're an agency owner right now and you are past those early stages of around $1 million or more, and you're stuck, I hope you found this video useful. There's two things that you can do. Number one is systems. So the pod model, the templates, the SOPs, everything that we have built out over the last 3 years, we have a plug and play system you can install into your business. More than 100 agencies and brands are currently using that plug and play system in their organization. And learn more, take a look at the link below. It is called Ad Creative Ops. Number two, if you want my direct help, I do a small number of consulting calls every single month. It's usually for founders who are in that range of around 50 to 150K a month as an agency, and they're stuck. They want someone who's gone through that process and just kind of help them figure out the next move. You can pay me for a consulting call. We can improve your systems and your agency from an operational standpoint. I will leave a link in the description for my consulting calls. Appreciate you for watching. I will see you on the next one where we'll drop some more gems and just pure value on how you can build agency systems, marketing funnels, and all that fun stuff. Catch you next time.